My girlfriend and my half-sister showed up at my birthday, and both were dating me. I thought keeping my girlfriend off social media would keep things simple. I'd been seeing Natalie for 3 months. No posts, no tags, no hints. I told people I was happy, but I didn't show her online. I also didn't tell my half-sister, Amber. We share a dad, not a mom, and we barely talk. In the past, she stepped into my lane. In high school, she flirted with my prom date. In college, she went after the internship I told her about and got it. So with Natalie, I kept quiet. Natalie had just moved here and asked if I had siblings. I told her about my sister in Seattle and left Amber out. 2 weeks ago, Amber texted that she'd met someone amazing. She said she'd keep it private until it felt serious. I said congrats and didn't push. After that, we traded small updates about our girlfriends without names. She'd say they went for pasta by the river. I'd think of a night I had there with Natalie and let it go. Still, I felt a small itch in my stomach every time she dodged a detail. My birthday was coming up. I booked a table at Rosario's and invited friends. Amber said she would bring her mystery woman to meet everyone. I invited Natalie too. That afternoon, Natalie texted me that she'd be there at 8. She said she was changing into the blue shirt I bought her last month. 20 minutes later, Amber texted me that her girlfriend was wearing the blue shirt she got her. I paused, then told myself blue shirts aren't rare. I got to Rosario's at 7:30 to hold the table. I kept checking the door. Amber walked in at 7:35 in a new dress and a big smile. Tonight's the night, she said. You finally meet her. She kept peeking at her phone and said her girlfriend had just left. Then she added, joking, she always stops at the coffee shop on 5th for mints. Natalie does that every time. I stared at the table. Amber showed me her phone background. A sunset with a woman's silhouette at the end of a pier. Pier 47, she said. Last month. I'd been at Pier 47 with Natalie last month and took almost the same photo. She drives a black Accord, Amber said. Natalie drives a black Accord. At 7:55, Amber's phone buzzed. She just parked, she said. My phone lit up at the same time. Natalie, just parked. My hands went cold. I set both phones face down. 8 o'clock. The door opened. Natalie walked in wearing the blue shirt. She saw me and started to smile. Then she saw Amber beside me and the color left her face. I stood up. Amber stood up so fast her chair scraped. The sound dropped out. Natalie knocked a chair. Amber reached her first and touched her arm. Everyone, this is Natalie, my girlfriend, she said, voice bright but shaking. Natalie's mouth opened, then closed. She looked at me, then at Amber. Amber's smile fell. Wait, she said to me. How do you know her? She's my girlfriend, I said. 3 months. Amber's fingers tightened on Natalie's sleeve. That's impossible, she said. We've been together 3 months. Natalie backed into a chair and rattled plates. Your sisters? She asked. You told me you were an only child. You said those exact words. Then to me. You told me Amber was just a girl from high school you never spoke to. She's my half-sister, I said. We don't really speak, Amber said. Natalie pressed her palms to her temples. The family drama you both mentioned, she said. The toxic relative was each other, and that birthday party you both skipped last month was the same party. The whole place was very still. Amber stared at Natalie. You told me Wednesdays were gym night. I said, you told me Wednesdays were poker. Natalie didn't deny it. She just stood there, breathing fast. I'm such an idiot, she whispered. Amber held her arm. You've been with me since January, she said. That's 4 months. I said, we started in February. Natalie said, dates overlapped. I thought I could pick without hurting anyone. I told myself it was casual until I knew. You lied to both of us, I said. You lied about having siblings, Amber said. Natalie kept saying, I'm sorry, but it sounded thin. Amber pointed at the cake box. You let us walk into this, on his birthday. Natalie reached for the box, then let her hand fall. I picked up my wine and threw it. It splashed across her shirt and cheek. People whispered. Amber tossed her water on top of the wine. Ice slid down the blue fabric. Natalie gasped and stepped back. The door banged and she was gone. Natalie pulled free and ran for the door. The door banged and she was gone. We stood there while everyone watched and the wine spread across the floor. On Sunday, our dad set a family dinner. Amber showed up first and cried into a napkin while Mom rubbed her back. He stole my girlfriend, Amber said. Mom turned to me with hard eyes. How could you? Dad shook his head and said, disgusting. No one asked about the texts, the coffee shop, the pier, or the timing. I pushed my chair back, set my napkin on the table and walked out. Now my parents are saying I overreacted by throwing wine. Was I wrong?